Ogiamien Okay, all right. Let me greet you all specially. You know, Mama, for coming for my invitation. My dad when I read my care was, you know. I'm sad, very, very sad of the unfortunate situations that we have found ourselves. So sort of a repetition of the betrayal of 1897. I feel that I've kept too quiet for far too long. Not in my generation will some certain things be allowed to linger. First, I always like to give introduction for the sake of those who wants to be objective enough and open their minds to see the games out there. Imagine I'm always not the politician. No politician in Edo State can buy me over. No politician, I repeat, in Edo State can buy me over. I have just only one loyalty, one allegiance, and it's to the Oba of Benin. That's the only person I have allegiance. Even my father, my biological father knows that. He knows my stand right from even when I was a teenager. I've always been a respecter of my monarchy. I've always been a respecter of my monarch. I've always been a respecter of my traditions and culture. It is the only thing that gets me emotional. It is the only thing that can get me sentimental. It's about the only thing that can get me very angry. So some of our Edo persons who think that for the past 1 week or 2 weeks that what we've been saying is a figment of our imaginations. I want to give you an advice. You are a weakling, and weaklings always get excuses where they are not. There are no beats for neutrality. There's a current orchestration conspiracy by the government led by Obaseki against the palace of the Oba of Benin. I said it, and I said what I said. Some of you have said that all is well. All is not well. If for whatever you've respected me for a while, or for you've been an ardent follower for quite some time, I am not in diaspora. I am in Benin. I'm not in overseas. I'm in Benin. I'm not those who do not know what happens in Benin Kingdom. I have all my first class information, for crying out loud. Oba of Benin knows me by my name. Oba of Benin, Obayeware II Ogidiga, knows his Oduwa by his name. So, I understand what is going on. I am not trying to blow things out of proportion like someone accused me 2 days ago. He said I hate the governor, and I told him, yes, I do. With all sense of sincerity. Yes, I hate him. Why do I hate him? I'm not a politician. I don't get muddled up in the politics of Edo State. I hate him because he hates the traditional institution. These are not rumors. These are reality. These are substantial facts. They are unprecedented evidence to back up, to substantiate those claims. So it is not about being sentimental. It is the reality of the day. So let nobody give me the concept of I am being sentimental. I'm not. With all due respect to the governmental institution, I heard that they are the most powerful according to federal constitution. I heard how powerful that they are. I understand. I completely do. But I'm not cajoled by that power. sincerely believe in the concept of my monarchy, and it's just. There are no perfections to whatever types of governments that we have. That's a very, very frank answer. See, I'm stressed. I'm tired. I've been running around for all of this matter for the past 1 week. I'm stressed. I'm very stressed. I'm not even feeling too fine. But I needed to see a piece of my mind, and I hope that the Benins who feel, some I will refer to the so-called Benins, will understand that it is not about taking sides. It's about standing in the side of the truth. You see why I hate the other day when I insulted the life out of those useless Edo cultural presenters, that other one that called herself Nuhundan. The major reason that I have to insert all these people, have you ever seen any of these online or live presenters speaking about this matter? No, they don't. Because you know why? They are selfish. They are self-centered. They don't have any outcome of patriotism in them. They are more interested in what they will gain. They are more interested in what they will gain, so they will not speak on this matter. They will rather remain silent. They will rather remain mute. They will remain silent and they will remain mute on this matter. Only for them to come out when the matter dies down and say that, we love our traditions, we love our culture, we love us. How can you say you love your heritage and you stand neutral? You sit neutral as against the orchestrations and machination of the state government to undermine your heritage. To undermine your heritage. People are going to ask, how are they undermining the heritage? I'm going to bring facts and figures. In short, when I said I was going to talk about this topic, I never knew that a letter is going to come out. There's a letter written there about one bastard Omo Ojo. What's his name? I think they said Omo Ojo or Robosa Omo Ojo. He wrote a letter. I'm going to read her letter. So the letter will clearly educate these so-called Edo people that call themselves Edo people that are sitting neutral to understand that what we have been clamoring, that the state government is aiding and abetting the Ogiamien people. They are currently building a palace for them. They are going to recognize them as an independent palace. Stated by the letter, I'm going to read the letter so that people will understand that what we've been clamoring for is no longer rumor. It's perfection. I remember when I talked about this topic sometime, a lot of months ago, I said that we might have won the first war, but that guy called Obaseki, he will never stand down. I said it. I said it. I said it. I'm going to read that letter. The letter is out. The letter justifies all that we've been clamoring for. First, you pardon a criminal. Now, you want to recognize that a criminal as a traditional stool. An independent traditional stool. You employ the services of a neophyte. You employ the services of a neophyte. Someone that if he has a one-on-one debate with me now, I will beat the hell out of him because all of the nonsense that he wrote, immediately I'm done with this live video, I'm going to write another rejoinder. So I'm not even sleeping all throughout the night. I have to write a rejoinder to that nonsense that young man bringing classical thought, backing up by real history, not his juvenile turtle tale that he put on the social media space. No other thing. Let nobody be blind. No other thing. That he's fighting the king. That he's fighting the Oba. Be no other thing other than the artifact. According to even the letter, he's saying that some of those artifacts, according to the writer, who is writing on behalf of the state government, using a prosy, who is writing, according to him, he said that some of those artifacts were taken from Ogiamien Palace. So you see the whole thing. It's not about anything. It's not even about the artifact. That's what you don't understand. Let me make you people very clear. Because some of you are in overseas, you don't know anything. It's not about the artifact. He doesn't need the artifact. He knows that there's a cost that goes with the artifact. He knows that nobody will be able to take that artifact from the Oba of Benin because there's a cost, an internal cost that is with it. It was prophesied that the artifact will find its way back to its origin. He is not interested in the artifact. That's what Edo people are not understanding. There is there's a big amount of money, very big, that is to come with the artifact. Whoever possesses the artifact possesses the money. He's never interested in anything other than money. It is about it. Alright, it is about it. And when people come to accuse me that can every single Edo man sit neutral? Because we are afraid that a state governor will kill everybody, or will jail everybody, or will arrest everybody when there are overwhelming evidence. How did Ogiamien people begins to possess artifacts, for crying out loud? At what history, documented history, even written by them. Alright, but I'm going to read the letter so that everybody will know that I'm not speaking out of anger. I'm speaking out of the reality on ground. Reality on ground. And for some of the people who will think that I'm working for the palace, you don't get. People need to understand this thing. Unlike them, I'm a very selfless Edo man. For those who have come to know me, for those who have come to be with me, knows the purity of my heart towards this land. I have no iota of selfishness. I have no iota. So I'm working. I'm doing all of this because I'm a Benin man. I am a Benin man. I am a Benin man. I love my land. I love my heritage. That is what I am doing. That is what I am fighting for. I'm not paid. After we did our press conference, we heard that some persons were alluding that the palace paid us 5 million naira. The palace was not even aware that we were going to do a press conference. In short, I'm a man of my own. I'm self-opinionated. I do whatever that pleases me, as a matter of fact. Yes, I said what I said. I do whatever that pleases me. As far as I know, it's a part of truth. It's a part of truth. It's a part of truth. So, like I said, it's about the money. It's not about the artifact. So let nobody get casualed. He can't handle the artifact. Nobody can. Nobody can take those artifacts. There's a cost on that artifact. He knows. Everybody knows. There's a cost attached. You can't. That when the time for the artifact is to return, it will return only to the right source. The federal government cannot handle it. They know. Nobody can. If a white man or white people decided to return what was taken over 100 years ago, it's because they have known that you cannot hold on to that thing. There's so much spiritual force around it. The state government knows, so they are not interested in it because they can't handle it, because they know it's not theirs. But they also know, all right, they also know that whoever possesses the artifact possesses the money. So it's about the money. You have to be able to create an argument that you own this artifact. That's the argument they're about to create. So that's why that's why they have to create an idea that now they want to create a traditional institution and give a mental picture to the Europeans. That's why he traveled to Germany. People should understand. Maybe Benin people should go and be asking questions what he went to do in Germany. Because Germany is about to return over 1,000 artifacts. What did he go to do in Germany? And they're about to return it this year. To who? To the Oba of Benin. Now, he wants to give a mental picture that there are two traditional institutions. So those two traditional institutions could jointly own those artifacts and should jointly own the money. So it's about the money. We know things, but we can't say a lot of it. But we know things, a lot of it. We know things. So when I speak, I'm not speaking out of ignorance. We have done our research. We've done our own work. We've done our consultations. We've done quite a lot. We've gone places. We've done our investigations. We've done everything. So if I'm talking, I'm not talking out of mere speculations. I'm talking out of conviction of the truth. If I can't have it, the idea is this: if I can't have those artifacts, or if I can't have that money that comes with the artifact, then let's destroy the monarch. That's his thought. That's exactly how he's thinking now. If I can't have it, then let's humiliate him. If I can't have it, then let's destroy it. There are no sentiment, there are no emotions attached to this. What is the way forward? The Benin people has to rise. You guys have to come out from your fucking neutrality and read the handwriting on the wall. He knows we are divided. He completely understands that. He knows how divided we are. He knows how Omakame kind of attitude that has bedeviled us in modern times, in recent times, and is capitalizing on that. It divided people who probably thinks that because they are not in overseas, they now know better, whereas they don't know anything. I'm angered. So he's capitalizing on our division. He knows. He's a mind game expert. He can read your mind. He can read the mind. He knows the bridge. He can dictate it. He's a mind game expert. He knows what is going on. He knows how divided we are. He knows how selfish we have become. So he's using those our 40 characteristics of modern era to punish us. He wouldn't have tried this in the era where Benins were so united behind their Oba. He won't dare. He's able to dare this because he knows how selfish we became, how self-centered we became, and how divided we became in the name of being enlightened. He knows all of this. He's taking advantage of it. And we're not seeing it. We are thinking that he's right. We are supporting him by sitting neutral. We are sitting neutral. He's empowering the enemies of our land. He's empowering all of them. The facts are there. A criminal. He pounded on him. He referred to him as a chief. He reverted him back to the Ogiamien title that was never given. And now they are questioning the 1979 edits. I will read the letter now to you. The letter that was released today. They are questioning the 1979 edit. So they are already envisaging reviewing the 1979 edits that gave the power and also authority to the Oba of Benin. They are already thinking about it. He controls the House of Assembly. So he could amend it. We still think it's not possible? Then you're quite mistaken. It is very possible. When you amended 1979 Traditional and Chieftaincy Edict, that clearly gives the power to the Oba of Benin. Okay? It's a free ride. If any of you think it's impossible, it is very possible. It is very possible. I am telling you. I am pleading with you people. It is very possible. This is not about Izodowa. The House of Assembly is currently being controlled, absolutely, by the executive. Absolutely, by the executive. We already saw that. You think we didn't see that about 2 months ago? You think Izodowa do not know? Why did you think? Why did you people think I will go to the High Court? Why did you people think that I will go to the High Court and go and print the 1979 edit? Why do you people think I will go to the High Court and go and print it? Why? Why do you think? Almost 2 months ago. Because we saw it coming. We knew it was going to boil down to this. Because that's the only way. That's the only way. We saw it coming. And the letter that came out today talked about it. That something should be done about the 1979 Chieftaincy Edit. Why? Why do you want to amend it? If not to reduce the power of the Oba of Benin? And a lot of Benin people are still they are still saying that Omakane, they are still saying that we're trying to blow this out of proportion. Out of fucking them proportion? How? Do you think I like being here? I'm coming from work. I should be resting. Do you think I like being here? To start, I'm a very, very busy person. Some of you have been following me in terms of business-wise. I am a very hardworking Benin man who is becoming very successful in his business. In his business. So I'm not a lazy Benin person. Nobody's responsible for my welfare. I cater for myself. I work hard for myself. So you think I will now come with all of these things, not being any other person? No other person, no politician. I've said it a million times. No politician since my advocacy for Benin Kingdom I have ever gone to meet in his house. It's not possible. For anybody to allude that it's one politician, well, how much politician can pay me? Some people who knows me in close words knows that, man, I be Benin get me the try for himself. Legitimately. Legitimately. So I don't talk. Any Benin person who comments on my post in this before till December 31st and try to now say that I'm trying to blow issues out of proportion, knowing fully well that he cannot be able to prove. I can be able to prove to him I'm not blowing issues out of proportion, but if he's not able to prove to me that I'm blowing things out of proportion, I'm going to block he or she. And if they call me, it's like they give me a contract of 10 million, maybe picking I call. Many I'm going out here. What nonsense. Let me read the letter so that people will understand. Let me read the letter. I want to read the letter so that people will understand. It's not as if Izodowa is saying. I want to read the letter so that people will understand. Special report. Ogiamien of Utantan. So the person has agreed. The person has agreed that this guy is a traditional institution. Ogiamien of Utantan, the task before Governor Obaseki, June 14th, Midwest spread the law by Orobosa or more Ojo. Please, people should take note of that name. His name is Orobosa or more Ojo JP. We are going to make his phone number available. We are going to make his phone number available immediately after this live program. I want all the patriotic Edo sons and daughters to call him, to pray for him. One by you should call him. Even a Nerunia, I tell Boneo, don't insult him. Just call him and tell him that Oba said we should be praying for them. Alright? That's what the monarch said. Na get your bon on rockba. Na Nerunia. So we're going to make his phone number available so that we'll pray for him. We'll send him prayer test. Alright? We'll continue to pray for him. The recent news, look at what he said. I'm reading now. The recent news of the restoration of the Ogiamien family's stool to his rightful place in Benin history by Mr. Governor Nogheghiase Obaseki, Governor of Edo State, South Nigeria, has gladdened the heart of cultural historians. He said it has gladdened our hearts. That he said we are happy. And custodians of heritage assets within and outside Nigeria. In doing so, the administration, through the Attorney General of the state, also dropped all the charges that were brought against Ogiamien Arisco or Semige, the surviving defender of Ogiamien's traditional house. You people should be listening. With the decision of the government to file nolia prosequere, the squabble between the Oba of Benin and the Ogiamien royal family over the proclamation of rich Arisco Semige as the Ogiamien of the Benin Kingdom without the authority of the Oba of Benin has been brought to a peaceful end by Obaseki. So that means he's saying that Oba of Benin does not even have a right. The generality of Benin home abroad has praised Obaseki. He said, you people, Nami dey abroad and we me dey heart. We have been praising Obaseki for a job well done. I will never praise him. I didn't praise him. I should be remembered as one of the few Benin persons that stood up against the tyranny of Obaseki. For acting rightly to preserve the different traditional institutions and their historical perspective. Now, look at what he says. He said to preserve the different traditional institutions. So that means they now say, what it means is that different traditional institutions, that means Ogiamien is independent of the Oba of Benin. That's what he said. He said the generality of Benin home and abroad has praised Obaseki for acting rightly to preserve the different traditional institutions and their historical perspectives. The resolution of the legal battle was contained in a letter dated April 29, 2022, which was signed by Mr. Oluwole Yamu, Edo State Attorney General Commissioner for Justice. The reprieve came 7 years after Ogiamien Arisco was docked for an act the government claimed was capable of bridging public peace in the run-up to the coronation of Obaiwari II, 2015. The letter explained that the government decision was based on the agreement by Ogiamien, Arisco. So that means, yes, they have conceded that Arisco is the Ogiamien. You know, that is, no, as he already installed. Who installed him? In other words, what they have said is that this Edo State government has crowned Arisco as the Ogiamien, because at no time did the Oba of Benin crown him so. to revert to his official statutory title as Ogiamien of Benin as recognized under the traditional rulers and chiefs law and legal notices. Following this, the Attorney General conveyed a letter to the Registrar of Magistrate Court for Benin that the decision of the government was also based on the readiness of the Ogiamien ruling as to withdraw all pending claims and appeals against all interested parties. Okay, I'll just cut off some. Impressed by Obaseki's intervention, the spokesman of the Ogiamien royal dynasty, High Chief Monday Iwehere, hailed the governor's bold move. Yeah, you know, they are all working together now, so there's a need for them to be healing themselves. Yes. For summoning the courage to resolve the royal dispute between them and the palace of the Oba of Benin. He also emphasized that the Ogiamien royalty was recognized by the state government way back in 1968 and noted with dismay that all the traditional rulers who were recognized in 1979, 10 years thereafter, presently use the appellation of either His Royal Highness or His Royal Majesty. Notwithstanding the accolade that Obaseki has received, the reinstalled Ogiamien of Utanta will contribute little or nothing to the cultural heritage assets of the state, except equal attention is given to the tangibility of this very institution. So he is not saying, look at what he said. Look at what he said. Notwithstanding the accolade that Obaseki has received, the reinstalled Ogiamien of Utanta will contribute little. He said, reinstalling him as Ogiamien of Utanta will not make sense, except some certain things are done for him, just like the way they are being done for the Oba of Benin. That's what he meant. Except equal. Not even, he said equal. That is what he said. He said, except equal attention is given to the tangibility of these very institutions. So, first, they have given him the express permission to become a traditional institution. And secondly, they are now saying that him and the Oba of Benin should share the same equality. If this does not make you angry as a Benin man, I don't know what you are living for. Haven't recognized him as a traditional institution. They are not saying that the same equality should be given between him and the Oba of Benin. Damn any weirdo. He went further to say, the Palace of Ogiamien is listed both as a UNESCO site and a national monument. Government should, as a matter of direct intervention, restore the historic and world-acclaimed Ogiamien Palace in Utanta so it can render all the attributes associated with the famed story of the great Benin Kingdom that started from the Ogiso dynasties in Igbodomigo. So what he's saying is that they should rebuild the Ogiamien Palace, but suffice to state, they are just saying all of this. They were the one who built. The Ogiamien Palace is currently being refurbished by who? By them. By them. So these are rules. They have already started doing this months ago when we started crying, when the people never believed us. They are just trying to say, oh, fine, we should not maintain it. They are already doing it. I think they are almost done doing it. The moribund tourism subsector in the state can get a reawakening from here, especially in the face of fast-fading tourist destinations. So they said that, okay, when we make it a world-class place, everybody that comes from the world will now go to the Ogiamien Palace. The investigation has also revealed that the palace space has been encroached by quarters, especially those selling woods and other building materials. So he is not deceptively telling the state government that what you need to do now for us to expand your Ogiamien Palace so that it can have more space, buy some properties around there and break it so that it can be as big as the palace of the Oba of Benin. Nice one. Orobo Saomo Ojo. Nice one. We will remember. Your name will be remembered in the Atlas of Benin history. Nice one, nice one. Nice one. The activities contravene the law that requires a 50-foot radius as a setback from the heritage site. The first step government should take is to activate the relevant sections of the Act of National Commission for Museums and Monuments, which prescribes penalties for anyone, corporate or individual, that destroy defaced national heritage sites. But before the enforcement, this guy is very, the guy is very authoritative. He's very sure, he's very certain. Because even now not Tano, a time man even know he said before the enforcement, so he's very certain that it should be enforced, that it will be enforced. So he's very certain, it's a 100% thing. It's already a game plan that has been perfected. So the Benin people are still sleeping. It's been perfected. We are still sleeping. He said, but before the enforcement, the government should quickly recognize the palace as a tourism asset in both words and action. In both words and action. The Ogiamien royal family should enter into a heritage ownership agreement with the Edo State government as stipulated in the United Nations Educational and Scientific UNESCO. Moving ahead with the wider plan to take a sizable chunk of Nigeria's tourism market. Nigeria's tourism market. I'm coming. Moving ahead with the wider plan to take a sizable chunk of Nigeria's tourism market, the state government should put a plan in place to take another look. Look at it. Listen very well now. Listen very well, everybody. Listen very well. You know, I said it. He said, moving ahead with the wider plan to take a sizable chunk of Nigeria's tourism market, the state government should put a plan in place. Are you listening? To take another look at the Edo State traditional rulers and chiefs law in 1979 to re-establish authority and control. So he's saying that the law, the 1979 law, should be amended so that the Edo State government will not be in charge of giving chieftaincy titles, installing, reaffirming, all the big language. So, in other words, they know that the greatest equivalence to their plans is the 1979 edit. So, it must have to change. We have to amend it. We have to amend it. Now, after he said that, then he wants to take us through the class of history. He wants to now take us through the historical class. After he said, you know, I asked you people that there are two things that you must take out of this. First, the secret motive to amend the 1979 traditional laws, chieftaincy edits. That's one. The second one, what's the second one again? To amend the law, there's a second one. The second one was to surreptitiously give a mental picture to the Europeans who hold our artifact. There are two traditional institutions, and Ogiamien, being a traditional institution, must have a part of those artifacts. Like I said, if you have a part of the artifact, you have a part of the money. So understand the game. The game is not about the artifact. Obaseki clearly understands there's nothing he can do with the artifact. He can't handle it. It's too spiritual. It has a cost attached to it. Nobody can. Even the white men could not handle it. He knows that. He's brilliant. He's a governor. He's spiritual. He knows all of that. He knows he cannot handle it. But, like I've said, he's not interested in those artifacts. There's a money. There is a money that is coming along with it. And that's what he's interested about. So when you split the artifact, you split the money. Understand the game. Now, he has told us. He has told us very clearly now, surreptitiously, through this letter, that we should look into the 1979 edit so as to give authority to the governor to be able to bring development. It's always about that. It's always about that. When they want to confuse some of these of our Edo people, whose brain power is less than one, They'll tell you that, no, we they do now so that we will bring development. As Benin the ancient. Am I made development in Devagbon? Is the British as a country not developed? Do they undermine the authority of Queen of England? Is Queen of England still, doesn't the Queen of England still command the necessary respect? Why must it don't be different? That because we want development, we have to kill all that God gave to us. Then he now said, he wants to take us through historical class that is clearly very ignorant of. It's very clearly ignorant of. He said, in the beginning, it was the Ogisho king. It was the Ogisho king of the sky in Benin who had the reins of power in Ngodomigodo, as Benin was then referred to. They needed a seat of government from where they could administer the vast land, and this gave rise to the Ogiamien palace. Look at what the person said. He said that the Ogisho ruled from the Ogiamien palace. Obaseki could have used someone who is intelligent, who has basic knowledge about Benin history. What historical book can these idiots bring to ascertain that any Ogisho ever ruled from Ogiamien palace at Sokpomba? There was no palace historically that was along Untatan. The first palace we had was at present day Upper Sokpomba, not Utantan. It was present day Atugbekun. The second was at Second East Secular, adjacent to Nikboba Hill, at Nuhundan. The third was at Ogbe. The fourth was at Usama, and came back to Ogbe. Now, this guy is saying that the Ogishos were administering over Ngodomigodo from Ogiamien Palace at Utanta. Then he now said that it was built in the 12th century AD. Several Ogisho ruled the land from Ogiamien's palace. That's what he wrote. Several Ogisho ruled the land from Ogiamien's palace until the end of the Ogisho dynasty and the ascension of Obaseki I in 1170. Understand something. There's something I want to bring out for you so that you understand. So that you know that you people think he's your guy, that he means well for you people. I will read something to you. Look at what he wrote. He said, 32 Ogishos or kings of the sky ruled Benin. They are changing your historical narrative. Domins, Dundis, illiterate of history, they are changing your historical narrative. 32 Ogishos. They are changing your history. The state government is changing Benin history. Look at it. 32 Ogishos. At what point did 32 Ogishos rule Benin from all historical books available? At what point did 32 Ogishos? You said 32 Ogishos, starting with Ogisho Igodo, who ruled from 900 to 1912 and ended with Ogisho Erebo. So that means they have added Ogiamien as an Ogisho. That's the state government now has now said that Ogiamien was an Ogisho. It's here. It will be made live. They have recognized. So all of those people sitting on the neutrality that are saying that Mavis is trying to flame things up. You understand? They are heating things up. Now they are saying Ogisho, they have agreed. Now, how can Erebo be an Ogisho when his own father is not counted as Ogisho? Evian gave birth to Erebo. So, technically, if they were smart enough, they would have made Ogisho Erebo 33 and not 32. Because that means, if Evian was not an Ogisho, what now made his own son an Ogisho? Anyway, I'm writing a rejoinder so that I can take this this illiterate, this bastard to the cleaners. One of the few, look at paragraph, another paragraph now. They say, one of the few surviving structure of the British invasion of Benin in 1897, the historical Ogiamien Palace dates back over 1,000 years. While virtually all the significant houses, including the majestic Oba Palace, were razed down and Obavorame was deposed, against all the centuries-old Ogiamien was spared the wrath of the invader. So they are giving you another mental picture that it was only Ogiamien's palace or house. It was only Ogiamien's palace that was spared in Benin. It's a lie. These people they are not students of history. They are so poor in history. In Benin, there is an urban Benin and there is a suburban Benin. There's an urban Benin and there is a suburban Benin. Most the houses that were raised down were the houses within the urban Benin. The moment you cross Ibiwe, the Sehere, those were called suburban Benin. Almost all of those houses survived. It was the central Benin, those areas around Ring Road and adjoining Ring Road area, that those houses were raised down. Those crossing a Hackman to Siloko, to crossing Isehere, to Uselu, crossing Uzebu to Uzebu Ogbe-Ibuya, those houses, crossing Ivie Neva moved to Upper Sakumba, those houses, they all survived and they were not burnt down. He went further to say, the fall of the Ogisho dynasty was signaled by the, look at what we say. Look at what he said. He said, the fall of the Ogisho dynasty was signaled by the signing of the Ekiokpaga Treaty between Ogisho Erebo and Oromiyan's son, Obaeweka I, which ended the civil strife. Complete badadash. Eweka never signed. We have history. First and foremost, Ekiokpaga is a ruse, does not exist, is a figment of the imagination of the minds of the Ogiamien people. It does not exist, and that's what we plead into His Royal Majesty. Abolish that Ekiokpaga Treaty. It's a ruse, it does not exist. It's a figment of the imagination. For crying out loud. And now he went further to exhibit his ignorance. Eweka did not sign any whatever nonsense treaty with anybody until Obaewedo. And that is relatively a very big distance. Eweka gave birth to Uwaekwan. Uwaekwan younger brother Ehemien. Ehemien gave birth to Ewedo. So why would they say that it was Eweka? In recognition of the legendary role of the palace played in the history of the Benin Empire, the colonial government in 1950, he said, in recognition of the legendary, which role did the Ogiamien play? The only thing that the history can remember those good-for-nothing family did for Edo people, or did for Edo state, was only Evian killing the Osoga. It's even a myth. We don't even know if it's those are part of our mythological history. We don't even know if it was real. It's even a myth. But don't also forget, if their house was spared and every other houses were destroyed, that means Ogiamien people betrayed the Benin. They were part of the Ogiamien family collided with our Obaseki of then in 1897 to betray the Edo people, and that is why their house was left. They didn't scatter their house. So we should start digging into history. If their house was the only house that was spared in the urban Benin, that it therefore shows that our own Maniawa Obaseki do, they are betrayed do. Honestly, Namana go why or that is, in short, is the reincarnation of the shady deeds that they did in 1897 that they have come to exhibit, and the Benin people still think that there is no problem. Some of them think that the Oba of Benin is a problem. The red clay masterpiece reminds archaeologists of the traditional Benin architectural skills, which is everywhere in Benin. The red clay is still there, so there's nothing special. Some of the now listen. Now listen. This is everything he has been writing. Everything that they asked him to write. The most important part of it. I asked you that it is two important parts. How to amend that 1979 edit. The second most important part is the most important part to him, because it is as a refuser of this that gave birth to him supporting the Ogiamien. Listen very well. Look at it. He said, some of the artifacts. Listen. You know, we have been telling you people that artifacts in Obama Vione or in our Begwaba. Look at it. He says some of the artifacts found in the palace date back to almost a millennium. How? Did they find artifacts in Ogiamen's place? House? How? This is what they're trying to drive at. Understand the mind game. This is what they're trying to drive at. This is the most important point of everything of what is going on. This whole crisis, this whole rivalry, this whole thing is centered around this. He said some of the artifacts found in the palace date back to almost a millennium. And the work in the hour-invoking palace evoked the imagery of life in the 12th century Benin. They are trying to give you a mental picture now that Ewe Egwai, Anna the artifact of Ba, they also took from Ogiamien's palace. They also took from Ogiamien's palace. So when this narration hits the public space, you now start to tell the Europeans that no, you cannot return all of these artifacts to the Oba of Benin. Yeah, there's another traditional institution. So there are two traditional institutions in Benin Kingdom where those artifacts were wished. He already said equality, so you give 50% to this, you 50% to this. So if it's 10 million pounds that is coming, you give 5 million pounds to this, you give 5 million pounds to this. That is the game. It's about the money. It's not about the artifact. I said it. Now, there are mythical recorded reports that only 3 persons passed through the mysterious gate of the spirits in the Ogiamien palace, which must be broken in the night and sealed up in the morning after. Tradition has it that the ascending Oba Benin would listen to this part. I think I've explained this part in several of our historical classes. Tradition has it that the ascending Oba Benin would usually pass through the open door during his coronation. The wall is broken for the Oba to pass through and is sealed very early the following morning after the ceremony. A curator and palace keeper told this writer. History records have it that Ogiamien rebels signed a peace treaty with Obaeweka to ensure harmony in the new kingdom. Luckily, a remarkable part of this hereditary legacy is still standing tall in its original site on Sokomba Road. Nothing should hinder the government from saving it from the incursion of those suffering from cultural degenerative myopia. So, he is Orobo Saomo Ojo JP, former special advisor to Edo State government on art, culture, tourism. He's a journalist, artist, and founder of Tribal Heritage Center and Museum House in Benin City. He talked about the mystical, the gates of the spirit, the mysterious gates of the spirit. I've explained. In Benin, we call it Urueimi. In the old Benin, in case you are not aware, Uronobala Omarela The door. If Oba comes to visit you in your house, you must create a door path for him to pass. In the old, these were found in some top-ranking chiefs, their houses. When I was Liayi and all of that, when I was Zomonji, they all had Urueimi, Edutieri. It is not only the Ogiamen's house that had it, or Ogiamen's palace, or whatever they call it. Other palaces like Olia's palace and all of that had it as well. Uronoba la owa. So you must create a special, door. You must create a special door. So there is nothing mysterious about this. It's quite painful that people think that there is no problem. People think Izoruwa wants to blow this out of proportion because they are sentimentally attached to the governor. Wake up. I'm not trying to blow. Who am I to blow things? Do you know that as I'm speaking now, I can be held accountable for my words? I should be held accountable for my words. So I'm not here to bridle anger. I'm not here to bridle or raise tension. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. That is not why I'm here. It is stupidity for people to think that that's why I'm here. What would I gain? That I just started to heat things up, like I've already established that there's no goddamn politician in Edo State that I go to their house to eat or feed. I'm a self-making, I wouldn't say self-made, but I'm still in the process. I'm a self-making Edo man, and some of you genuinely have patronized my business. I'm a self-making Edo man that legitimately work. So what will I gain to bridle rivalry and strivery or bring disharmony to the Edo land if I don't have facts and details of this whole matter? I mean, we get the artifact. That is the issue. And right now I can categorically state you, take me anywhere that Obaseki, the governor of Edo State, is aiding and abetting the Ogiamien people. He has a hand in the construction of that palace that is currently going on in Otanta. They said it here. I read it. It was stated here clearly. I went 2 months ago when we had the filler that we were thinking of amending. The greatest impediment that they have, like I've said, is the 1979 edit. Is in 1970. That's the greatest impediment that they have. You need to amend this before Ogiamien, that criminal Arisco can ever be recognized. You need to amend this. That is their greatest problem. They are finding a way, or they are going to find ways to amend it, except we stop them. This is the greatest. Will you carry now? I'll go high court, go begin a print paper. But I needed to go print it because I needed to know things. And everything clearly stated here that Ogiamien is the chief under the Oba Ogiamien. They need to amend this before Ogiamien can ever be recognized. And that's where the problem is. But we must not lose our guard. Any Edo person can stand neutral, but I've just told them avoid me before the end of this year, so that your hand will be no wine. Avoid me. I've said it on my platform. I said it. I said avoid me. Please avoid me on this matter. Avoid me. Just avoid me, because it will be very painful if I now start insulting my elders. Because I'm convinced, if you guys cannot see, because you stay in your high horses, you stay in that your country, in US or America or in UK or in Australia, but I'm here. I know things way better than most of you, 99% of you know. Like I said, Oba Benin knows me by my name. But I do not speak for him. I speak for myself. Everybody knows that. I don't speak for anybody. I speak for myself. I speak freely because I speak for myself. I do not represent any institution. I'm not representing the official mouthpiece of the Oba Benin. Is the Benin Traditional Council. It's not me. It's not Izoduwa. I speak for myself. And everybody who has seen me for the past 5 years knows that I'm a guy who speaks freely. I speak for myself. Just a minute. Guess what? In the there. You know how to on it? Just use the key. On it first, I beg. I need that. You know how to return the show? On out with the key. Return the show. Thank you. So I will never as always. So that is the reality that has dawned on all of us. We will continue to be afraid because I might make governor will do that. So I've said mine, but I can guarantee you, Izodowa will not allow all of this conspiracy come to pass. We will fight and we will resist. We have overwhelming facts. I've studied Benin history for the past 5 to 6 years. Excitingly very knowledgeable in the history of this land. So when these neophytes comes online to rant, we have a way of holding them to the scrotum. The press conference that was delivered, we didn't argue. We didn't play with sentiment. We spoke facts. The press conference that was delivered, we simply asked a question. that the state government is playing an hanky-panky game with the Ogiamien. Okay. If you say you are not playing hanky-panky game with the Ogiamien, then come out. Because all of the things that the letter that was written by the criminal Arisco and that was replied by the Attorney General, they were all too watery. It wasn't substantial. We said that, okay, people are saying that they want to light up the polity, they want to cause problem in the state and all of that. I asked in the press briefing, if the state government says that we have lied or what we have said is wrong, they should come out and state it clearly that Ogiamien is a chieftaincy title under the Oba Benin as stipulated in the 1979 edit. That's the question we asked. That was what all of the press briefing was all about. Say, if you say that this accusation, that we are accusing you that you are aiding and abetting these people, because you did not state it clear in your letter, let them bring it. Everyone has seen the letter. They didn't state it clear who Ogiamien is and who has the power to confer. In the letter, even the useless Attorney General that is called the Yoruba Attorney General, had referred to Arisco as a chief. So we were trying to ask, who gave the chieftaincy title to Arisco? How did he become a chief? Was it the Oni of Ife? Or was it the Olu of Wari? Or was it the Ovi of Ogara? Or was it the Sultan of Sokoto that gave him a chieftaincy title? We want to know, how did he become a chief? Because we are very much aware that the Oba Benin never gave the criminal. He said, a convict or an ex-convict, a criminal cannot be given a chief. How did he not become a chief? We are aware that the Oba Benin didn't give him any chieftaincy title. Because there is a subsisting Ogiamien called Osabo. So, then, the Attorney General, in his mighty foolishness, addressed him as a chief without explaining who conferred that chieftaincy title. That's the question we asked. Then the second question is that he said he has now reverted. This is what he said now. He said that he will immediately revert to official statutory position as Chief Ogiamien of Benin as recognized under traditional rulers and chiefs law and legal notices. And so the state government now has the power to confer chieftaincy title. Of course, they now have. Yes. It should be noted that Obaseki and his government is the first government in Nigeria to confer a chieftaincy title on an indigene. He has broken another record. Because according to the letter, they have conferred the title that was never conferred before on Ogiamien, on Arisco, ex-convict Arisco or Semigil. These were the questions we asked. With all of these foreplays, with all of this secrecy, we did a press conference to address the situation. That we are not satisfied with this because we can sense that there's a conspiracy. Okay, in order for us not to be aggrieved, in order for us to feel that you are not a co-conspirator of this guy, you're the same Attorney General who replied in less than 7 days. In less than 7 days, he had already made reply. So that means our time we was again Arisco. We have a in short, we cake said he probably had written that letter in the office of this Attorney General, and the reply was given that same day. Only that I want to burn 1 7th, the other one 13th. A better way have been no the 13th, but the reality is this. In spite of all of this, the Benin people are still blind not to see what is going on. They will question. If the governor says that they are not aiding and abetting Ogiamien, let them come out and say that Ogiamien, who conferred the title on you? It is the Oba, according to the law. We are not saying according to the Oba, now, according to the law of 1979. It is the only Oba that has a right, that has a power to confer titles on individuals. They didn't say that. That is our argument. If you don't say that, that means you are aiding and abetting. We knew that they were doing it, but it's just that we wanted them, we had them at the scrutum. We wanted them to self-confess, but they didn't. Instead, they now use another proxy to substantiate our initial claim. The proxy came out to substantiate our initial claim. He is saying that the 1979 edit that gave this absolute power to the Oba Benin should be revised, should be amended. I've studied him for too long. Like I told, if some of you have been my very ardent follower, like I told you when I did a live video on this platform many months ago about Obaseki, I told you that we might have won the first war, but that guy that I've studied, he doesn't know how to back down. He doesn't even know when to back down. He doesn't know how to back down. He doesn't know when to back down. He feels I must win every war. I said it, if you all can remember. I said it, that we should be watchful. He will come back. He has returned back. I'm not surprised. As a matter of fact, I'm not. Now, I'm not shocked because I was expecting it. I'm surprised. The only thing that is surprising me in this whole matter, the only thing that is surprising me in this whole matter, those Edo people who still think what he's doing is right. Even what avoiding it. My will, he blockade ni bune wo, ni my block wo. Yeah, who are not comment nonsense on my page. I mean it with all sense of sincerity. I mean what commenting no I block you. Because you cannot see what is wrong and continue to keep mute. And I think that you are relevant to me, Zodowa. You're not. You're not. If me as a young boy can know that what this guy is doing is wrong, you as an old man, why would you know that what this guy is doing is wrong? Benin was once a society that was built on mentorship. People looked, the young lads looked after their older ones. They wanted to look, they lived to be Arimani Seyan. But today, we look after ourselves. We learn the things that we learn on our own. Because all of these people that were supposed to be a mentor, who were supposed to speak truth to us, they became selfish, they became self-centered, and they don't know the difference between what is wrong and right. And it is shameful. It is very shameful. Don't bring politics into my... Nobody should have called this into politics. And nobody should try and call me and say that was my take. The moment I know that, who are you? And you said you are a politician. I ain't the call on you. Who the fuck are you? You don't feed me. I'm sorry I'm sounding the way I'm sounding. I have to sound this way. As a matter of fact, I have to. Because I'm ashamed of some of our people. Very, very pained and ashamed of our people. People have asked, what should we do? We will protest, we will resist, we will write, we will do press conferences, we will talk, we will speak to authorities, we will speak to national powers, we will speak to world powers to curtail this guy. We will plan for a massive protest conjointly within Benin, outside the country. We will protest to the German government, we will protest to the British government that if they at worst still, they should not return those artifact until in 2 years' time. No bizu, no abiesu. At worst, we'll be patient. We'll be patient for over 100 years. 2 years will not kill us. That the German museum should please hold on to the museum until in 2 years' time. We don't want it now. We have to perform some certain rituals and some certain rites because of the innate spirituality of those artifacts, and that ritual will take 2 years before they are returned. I said it the other time. And why I have delayed him. He only have 2 years. So no buy worry. So I can have peace of mind once again in those states. Mass protest should hit German government and German museum or whatever, or British. Now we don't need those. We don't need those artifacts until in 2 years' time. He's not the only educated person in Nigeria, in Edo State. Manibombe Yeskunia can be playing us around and telling us what he thinks he can tell us, and think is the Alpha and Omega. Play God over us. The only God that we know, that I know, is the Oba of Benin. Aside in no other person. There is no contest. I haven't contested the state government power. As a matter of fact, they are very powerful. Pained as it is, but that's the reality. But no matter how powerful you are, the people command more power. Like I have said, you understand that we are divided. You understand our division. It clearly do. That's why I can do anything and go scot-free. Let us be united. I have to thank all of you for this. Please, I indulge will to know that the struggle is real. We lost our sovereignty to the British in 1897. We're a very united race. We're united in purpose. We're united, like I said in the press conference, the Benins are constrained in three fundamental elements: the throne, the king, and the people. These are the glue that guides us together. I want to read this again so that people will listen. When I was writing that paragraph, it was the ancestor that was touching me, that was proofing these ideas, these thoughts in me. The great people, the great Benin people have lived in the concept of three fundamental elements. Three: the throne, the king, and the people. And it is in the cycle of elements one of the greatest civilizations was built. Enemies understand this immortal element of connection. Hence, they are poised in using the same knowledge to destroy our cultural existence. According to them, when you poison the people, just like these people are poisoning our people, they rebel against their king and therefore obliterate the throne. But they forget, I'm not referring to us now that have been poisoned. But we forget to understand that the throne is the people. There is a throne there because you and I, we are still alive. The throne is the people only existing in other form or realm. The people is the throne, only that the throne is existing on other realm. We are the physical manifestation of the throne. That's what I'm saying. The throne is a spiritual. We are the physical manifestation of that throne. When we kill the throne, we are inherently killing ourselves. And that's what they want us to do. Oghionoba was not guilty. Oghionoba was not guilty. But they needed to take him away from his people. Because when he is with his people, there is strength, there is purpose of unity. Hence he was taken away from people. The Benin became people without leadership. So, without the leadership of the Oba of Benin, the British were able to capture us, enslave our minds. It's still the slavery that we are still undergoing till now. The slavery where we believe that the British imposed government is ranked higher and better than our own monarchical system that brought us to the limelight, that gave us a civilization that even the British could not contest with 500, 600 years ago. We are still enslaved in our minds. And we cannot see the handwriting. We can't see the handwriting. Anyone who tells you that the state government should be more relevant than your traditional institution is your enemy. Know that from today. It's your enemy. We are not saying that the palace of the Oba of Benin is perfect. It's not perfect. It's not God. Even him, Itan of Edos Osa or Sinyoba, they are bound to be imperfections. There were mistakes that were heard in the past. But they have always had the best interest for our people and our land. And together we both built a civilization. What civilization has the state government ever built that can rival what Ewa the first did, or what Orogba did, or what Ehenguda did, or what Ozolaniba Mekon did, or what Obaseki, who was a diplomat, did, or what Obagola, who started the concept of the Benin mode, etc., etc. What did they do? What Ogisho did? What have they done for us? What have they done for us? Itano amami genedo ya ye bogede. So that means we have always been civilized. You have always been a civilized people right from the very creation, since the day God created us. Like I said, this day I chose my path, and I chose where I will stand. I am not neutral. I will never be neutral. This day I've chosen. They say that there is no war. Well, by power of God and our ancestors, there will not be any war. But there are two sides to this. There is a side that is fighting the palace of the Oba of Benin. I choose not to be in that side, and I choose not to be neutral. I choose the side of the Benins. I choose the side of the ancestors. I choose the side of the throne. I choose the side of the palace. That is my message. I refuse to be neutral. Because I'm convinced I'm in the side of the truth. Why I was Obara talk by you. He said, I'll see you guys.